There you go. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen there? There you go. Can you see that?
Yes, I see it.
Okay,
it's good.
perfect. All right, so my name is Ann Smart, and I live in Adrian, Michigan, in the United States. And up until October, I worked for Adrian Public Schools. And Adrian Public Schools is where I graduated from school and went to Adrian College. And then my husband and I moved away and decided to move to Washington, the state of Washington, where I taught for 6 years. And then we moved our family back to Adrian. We love the community. My family was here, and I ended up working for Adrian Public Schools. So my kids started going through Adrian Public Schools. And just this past year, I ran what was called the APS Makers Club. And I'm going to kind of take you on a journey on how I started that, and then kind of some of my tips and tricks on things I learned starting the Maker Club, and just kind of what happened through the year and what I've learned. So let's go. Again, my name is Ann Smart. I work for Jackson County ISD now. I'm an ed tech consultant, so I work with teachers in the classroom. But as far as technology goes, we look at lots of different multimedia, so we're not just technology. We do a lot of makerspace and STEM activities in the classroom also. Today, like I said, we're going to talk about what students and teachers gain from a makerspace and how to get started, materials and funding, and the prep and logistics of starting your own makerspace. 2014, I believe, is when the Lego movie came out, and my kids were obviously really excited about the movie, and so we went and saw it, and we bought some of the books. And as I was reading one of my son's books one night, this was one of the pages, and let you take a second and read it to yourselves. And what really hit me there was the part, even though it's made to be kind of funny, but Cloud Cuckoo Land is the happiest, most creative place on the universe. And at the time, I had then second grader, now third grader, starting to kind of lose that love of school and that creativity. And I had my son was going to be going into kindergarten. And, it really hit home as school has kind of become that place where, unfortunately, we in the United States haven't had the time to do the most creative things. I remember back in elementary school, my favorite things to do in school was to play, create, and make things in the classroom. My friend and I were actually talking about kindergarten the other day, and I can remember so many things vividly. And she's like, "Why do you think that is?" And I said, "It's because I was having fun." So just my goal here is try to kind of bring fun back into the schools. In Michigan, we have the McCall Conference, which is in March. It stands for Michigan Association of Computer Users and Learners. And 2 years ago in 2015, we decided to do a gigantic makerspace. I kind of got dragged in and helped to volunteer and didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But what we did is we set up a bunch of these booths where people, basically like a maker fair, where people could go around and see new things and try out some cool things that you might put in your makerspace. And after I was done volunteering, I had a lot of friends that were there, and we were laughing because we were saying, "Man, we wish we had a selfie stick," because we were doing all these cool things. And it hit me. I was like, "Well, I'm in a makerspace, so I could make one." So I ran around for a good, half hour looking for materials to make a selfie stick. And you can see here, I ended up with some cardboard, some duct tape, and a ruler. My cell phone is in there. And, it was fun because we were able to take some pretty funny pictures with this thing I had created. But what I found myself doing was I was in this kind of zone of, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to make this. I have a purpose. I have a passion. I have a reason to make this. And I kind of stopped and thought, why? I would love to bring that to kids again and bring that feeling again to kids of when they're just so into building and creating, they kind of get in that zone. So I ran back to my kids' school, and I know the principal pretty well. And, I pitched this idea of starting a maker club. The idea was to do a 1 hour after school program in the fall, where we'd have 10 kids sign up, and 10, I just thought 10 was a good number, kind of start small. have 10 kids sign up and do makerspace. I really didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, didn't know where I was going to get the money for it, but he was all about it and on board. He had me pitch it to the staff. So what I did is, this is when I'll share this link out under the hashtag, and what this is it's it took Google Draw, so all these links are actually live when you click on them. So be able to watch a little video on Makerspaces. All these links are live here. But so I pitched to the staff. They were still kind of not quite really understanding where I was going, but luckily the staff's awesome and allowed me to continue with the progress of putting together this makerspace. I didn't know quite where I was going to get funding from. We had our school district does they do like grants through a foundation, and so I sat with the school improvement team at the end of May, and we decided that we would write a grant for the school. And then I wrote one individually, and we ended up getting $1,500 for the space. We'll talk about funding in a little bit also, but it was kind of, rewarding to get that money, and felt good. And so I was able to go out and purchase the materials for the space. A few things that, as I read and discovered and learned on my own about makerspaces, and then ended up seeing in the makerspace, is that students, I'm a big believer, and this is kind of my soapbox. In the United States, unfortunately, I'm afraid that makerspaces will become a standard. People are going to start standardizing them or making them kind of part of their, making it part of their curriculum where you have to do these things. And what I found in a makerspace is that the kids just love to have the time to sit and collaborate with each other, share their knowledge with each other. They had passion about the things they were making. They just had time to invent, create, to teach each other, explore. But the critical thinking and the constructing of knowledge that they did just during that hour weekly was amazing to me. To see, this picture, my son and his friend, the things they were able to create out of cardboard, and just have fun doing it. One thing that was kind of eye-opening to me is the third and fourth graders. This was done young 5s through 4th grade. The third and fourth graders, some even second graders, had a really hard time the first 2 weeks with what to do. They really thought I was going to tell them what to do with the materials. They thought I was going to give them kind of the to-do list, and tell them where they needed to go. And it was really hard for them to understand that I wasn't going to give them much direction. And, obviously I showed them a few things like Kane's Arcade, and I showed them some examples of other things that maker spaces and maker people have made. And that kind of got the ball rolling, but it was really hard for some of the older kids to get in that mindset. I'm going to skip this part right now. So how we got started is, first, and obviously as a staff, we had to decide kind of the when and the where of the makerspace. What we decided is we would use the old gym area. So we took, in our school, there's a gym and then there's a stage. So what the principal decided is that the stage would kind of be the place where we would house the makerspace materials, and then the gym we could use because it has fold down tables for lunch and things like that. So it worked out great. Storage was an issue. We're looking at more possibilities for storage for next year, but it kind of just became throw all your stuff in the corner until next week. So storage is definitely something, if you're going to start a makerspace, to think about. I did have a room downstairs where I could store materials, but every week going up and down and remembering what was down there and what wasn't, got a little cumbersome. And the kids too, one thing to think about is these kids wanted to create these really cool things out of cardboard. And we had some pretty big pieces going, like you saw in this here. This was a helicopter the kids were making every week. To store that somewhere got a little tougher and tougher every week as they build it onto it. So when you're thinking of storage, is there a place where you'll be able to keep their creations together for the following weeks? We decided that we do a little bit of low tech and high tech, so we did a little bit of a mix of both. But I think that's important to think about in your makerspace. If you don't have a lot of money, you're more than likely, are going to stick with low tech materials, which is great. I think that's the best way to do it. But I had the money, so I spent that on the high tech materials. In a little bit, you'll see the list of things that I did purchase with that money. For $1,500, I was able to get quite a bit. I was pretty surprised. Like I said, write grants. Donors Choose is a great way. Even just going to the community members and asking, if there's some local businesses that have things they can donate, or even if they like to purchase or donate money to the club. I even next year will probably charge a fee. What happened is I ended up wanting only 10 and I ended up getting 20 kids, which was probably a little too many, but it was great. It was nice having all 20 of them. But next year what I would probably do is charge at least $10 just for the fee of getting the consumable materials. Get yourself some PD, like if you're attending this now or watching this later, this is a great way to get yourself some knowledge. I even suggest go to maker fairs this summer. Get yourself there's a local maker space in the area. Get yourself there and kind of see what's going on. And if there's any conferences this summer that you can attend that have makerspace topics, I just suggest going and hearing all the different things that people have to say. Every makerspace is different. Everybody is different how they run it. So, getting as many ideas as you can. That was something I didn't do. I just kind of winged it and it still turned out pretty well. So, it's all in you. If you can get some students and parents to, obviously you want students, but get parents. If you can get parents to help out, you're golden. Because it's kind of interesting at first with most after school programs, it's for the parents are like, whew, I don't have to pick up my kids till 5, or 5:30 we had, and you get that little bit of extra time. And so the first 2 weeks I didn't see many parents. And then third week, a few more parents showed up a little earlier. And then they would come a little bit earlier. And then by the end of the 10 weeks, they were there pretty much the entire time because they wanted to get their hands on the makerspace and help the kids. And they were helping them build and hold things and help plug things together. And as you saw, the one parent in the box, he was helping them. They needed help hooking it up. And so the parents really, really, really started to enjoy coming to that space also and working with their kids. They started to build a lot of community with the parents and the students. I got to know some parents pretty well and they got to know each other. And, it was really cool to see the community like that come together. Materials was, like I said, I bought a lot of non-consumables, but my consumables I got from donation and collection. I just simply asked, hey, I need paper toilet paper rolls. I need, if anybody can grab us some, wiring, if anybody can get us some string, some glue. Just every few weeks I'd send out like hey, this is kind of what we need. Parents always sent bags of stuff with kids. The Goodwill and Salvation Army. It's a great spot to go. Goodwill, actually, one of my makerspace parents actually runs the Goodwill here in Lenawee County, and he was telling me that they actually have to charge to have cardboard taken out of the Goodwill. So he was more than happy to have me come up, pick up a load of cardboard every week. They also have room where kind of just the stuff that's not going to sell goes, and he was more than willing to open that door for me to grab stuff from there. We have a really great place in Ann Arbor, Michigan called the Scrap Box. So it's something to check out maybe in your area if you have a place like this. The Scrap Box is basically like a resale place for art supplies. So you go in and you can buy like a half a pack of pipe cleaners for 50 cents and, half a thing of foam board for $1. So people recycle their art supplies. And then on the other side, they bring in from all the industrial places around town, they bring in all their little cutouts, foam cutouts and pieces that just are, kind of in these random packaging materials. So you could sift through a huge bin of foam sticky things or just little plastic pieces and some wiring and some netting and things like that they just literally donate to this place. They even had a whole tub of just right Nike shoes, toothpaste holders, things like that that they just get rid of and they bring to this place. And you can just for $7 fill up an entire bag full of just stuff. And the kids loved it. You can see here in this picture, my son, as part of this is he's got a cup there and then some of the sticky materials to kind of hold it together. And those little orange pieces were literally just orange plastic sticks. And he made himself a Star Wars shooter thing. So the art teacher was very willing to kind of lend some materials and what she had that was, was going to waste, give that to us. Like I said, I do have that starter list right here. When you click on that, it'll take you to the starter list I have, which you can kind of look in there and check out once it loads. Check out materials that I purchased through the makerspace, and it's taking a while to load, but you'll be able to click on that when I go back. Whoops, sorry. Maker Shed is another place. I didn't buy a lot from Maker Shed, but it was a great place to get some ideas for my makerspace, what I was going to buy. Mindware and Fat Brain Toys were two other places that I constantly were looking at, and I did buy a few things from all three places. Funding, like I talked about, I wrote a grant. I did link the grant verbiage here that I used for you to look at. Beg, borrow, steal is how I always say it. So that's there for you. And I talked about, I'm going to probably ask for a makerspace fee this summer. I'm actually going to run a space. I'll have to ask for a little bit of money for that. And like I said, beg, borrow, steal, use your community resources. I had a parent, the Goodwill parent, then I also have a parent that owns a engineering company here in town, and she brought in tubing and motors and wiring and all this cool stuff for the kids that I could have never provided. So something to think about when you are doing that. Some of the logistics. It's pretty chaotic at first, for me at least it was. It was an after school. So the kids got down there after school and were really excited and wound up, which was great. So I literally let them run around for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before we even got any materials out. Like I said, at first it was hard because some of the kids didn't do well with me not giving them directions. So we had some poutiness and some frustration because they just didn't quite understand what I was asking them to do. But we got through it. You'll need to set the expectations of the space. And I never took a picture of ours. I wish we did. It was be respectful, be responsible for your stuff, all this stuff that usually goes along in a classroom. The one thing we did not do the first night, which we ended up doing the second night, was setting up cleaning expectations, because after the first night, they all left and I was standing there with a gym full of blah, right? Everything was everywhere. So the next week we were sure to set up some cleaning expectations and making sure that everybody takes care of their stuff. And if it's not your stuff, you can still take care of it. I laugh because I tell people, yes, kids will run with scissors. I had a parent that works at the school come in and was a little freaked out because there were kids running all over the place. They had scissors in their hands. And we obviously would tell them to slow down and not run with scissors, but they get so excited that, it's hard to stop them. It's hard to, when they're throwing tape, dispensers across to each other, rolls of duct tape are going flying across the gym. You just kind of have to be a little more. For me, it was just I had to kind of lay back a little bit and, hey, let's roll it this time. Let's not throw it, So they were pretty excited. Kids, like I said, kids will cry and so will some adults. There's a few tiers of the sharing piece, learning how to share properly, and something didn't work. I saw a lot of tears when something didn't work or something broke down. But I think that's part of all the learning with the students is that perseverance and the try again. And, they're learning so much during that time. Some of the logistics that, kind of has helped me, and when I talk to others, now, and especially as I share starting makerspaces with other teachers, tell them to start small. Go with something that you're knowledgeable in. So if you're not comfortable with, you know, circuitry, don't have it in your makerspace. Have stuff that you're comfortable with. Then bring that stuff in later as either you learn more about it, or you know that you see a student that might have a more of a passion for it and a more of an understanding for it, and maybe that's something that you bring into your space for them. And that kind of goes along with Laura Fleming's your, you know, first part of understanding your learners. You know, start hearing what they like to do and what kind of materials they think they would like, and as they use the materials, you know, what can you build upon. With the $1,500 grant I got, I didn't spend it all at once. I spent about half of it and then saved the rest of it for later on as I kind of learned what the kids liked and wanted to use. Or you can do what I did and just go for it. I have that personality. I have a personality of let's just go big or go home. So I just went for it and did it all. You know, as I look back, it is easier now as I help teachers to start smaller. But my personality allows me to kind of do that. Team up. It's pretty cool right now. I have a school district that the teachers, there's 4 of them, and they really want to start a maker space, but they're kind of nervous about it. So what they decided to do was each teacher kind of takes a piece. So one teacher is going to do doing the engineering part. One teacher is doing more of the robotics. One teacher, when I say robotics, she's doing AUSSIE. Another teacher is doing stop motion, and another teacher is doing Osmos right now. So what they do is a few times a week for just an hour at the end of the day, they rotate the kids and they get to go to those spaces. So it's just an engineering space where they're building and creating, but they get to do that for an hour. And so it takes some of the pressure off the other teachers to do all of it. They can just do one piece of it. And then as the kids are working, they walk around, because their classrooms are real close, they just walk around each other's classrooms and learn from each other and learn from the students. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to do that. Like I did, I made a club. You can start small, you know, or go big, go home. Whoops. Sorry. What time of your day could change? My son's teacher, who's amazing, Lori Shenedy, she started taking the time at the end of her day, which was always there. She calls it student planning time. It's time for them to plan on something that they want to do for fun at the end of the day. That's her time to pack up and answer some emails, get the folders going home. And again, she's a kindergarten teacher. But now she's starting to add more of the maker mentality. So she's adding, you know, time for kids to explore with Wonder Dash and Dot robots and Spiros and Ozobots. And then she has a cardboard station and just kind of a creation station is what she calls it. She has Legos and things like that all around the classroom. For just a half hour, the kids get to go to one of those spaces and create and play. The other thing, a lot of people, you know, we know that the maker movement is big in the librarian world and the media center world. You know, that's something where I guess you know, if you have a great relationship or your librarian is willing to do that in your school, like I said, get to know them, get to start bribing them to use that space. It is a great space. It's a great place for the resources, the technology to go. So I tell people, if you're looking for a space and you're trying to brainstorm where to go, start with your librarian and see if they're on board, and you know, if they can come and watch a few times to kind of understand what you're talking about, and maybe you'll get them on board. One thing I did do with my Maker Club kids is I let them take home some of the materials and explore them for the week, because we only met once a week. And so I wanted them to have more time with some of the devices and tools that we had. So what I did is they just kind of check out system, and each week one kid got to take home something. This is a picture of one of my Maker Club girls. She took home a Wonder Dash robot there, and they played with it for the week. You know, I was sure to give kids materials that I knew they had access, if they had access to an iPad or some sort of tablet at home, that they'd be able to run it. If not, I gave them something that wasn't reliable upon a device, you know, like little bits. I would send those home. I would send Makeys home. So if they had a computer at home, they could at least plug that in. But I think that was really helpful, because then the kids could come back and kind of teach each other more about the tool or device that they played with. And it took that off of me to have to learn everything about every tool I had purchased because I still didn't know. And I ordered a Wonder robot. I really didn't know too much about it. Same thing with Spiros and Little Bits. But as the kids took them home and played with them, they were able to show me and teach me some cool things. So, if that's something you can do, I highly encourage to send those materials home with kids. My son's teacher now does that with her materials. She sends home the materials with the kids that would like to take them home. Their parents are okay with that. Obviously, she has a little write-up and a signature that goes home to, if something happens to it, you are responsible for it. So that's how she handles it, but I think it's a great idea. So our end goal for Maker Club was to host a Maker Night, basically a little mini Maker Fair for our school. What the goal and the purpose was for the students to be the ones running the stations at the Maker Fair or Maker Night, so that the teachers didn't have, because a lot of our after school program thing or after school nights, the teachers are in charge of. And I wanted this to be something where the teachers did not have to be in charge of it. They could actually come and enjoy it and learn. So the students, the last 3 weeks, were in charge of getting to know something really well to be able to teach it. So they divided themselves up, and each of them took a material or a tool, and were in charge of kind of setting up a station. They designed what their station was going to look like. They decided what they were going to do in the station, what kind of maybe the challenge was they were going to have people do at that station. Just kind of basically they designed that table or that space. And then the last 2 weeks, they prepared and making signs for the space, getting anything collected or made that they needed to make as examples. And then on Maker Night, we ran Maker Night. And this flyer that you see here is something that we gave to all the parents and community members that walked in the door, something they could get a quick reference to for what was in the space, and then links to later on if they wanted to go back and learn more about or order their own. This is a video that I put together. I'm just going to play it. It's about 4 minutes of that Maker Night. I don't know. What just happened? I got some psychedelic stuff going on here. All right. I don't know if you guys can still see me. There we are. Is anybody still there? All right. Oh, sorry. That got really confusing. My screen went bananas. All right. Let's try this again. Okay. Well, anyway.
Hey, Anne.
Why?
Well,
I don't know what happened.
going on, but I thought you went off on purpose because there was another session that's already ended at this time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not recording right now, but it, hi. Ellie, come here. Funny is right now we have people in Australia who actually have class going on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to turn you towards that group.
Oh, hi. Hello.
So you can actually see.
Oh, very cool.
Design challenge right now.
Nice.
They're building the chairs for Baby Bear, Mama Bear, Daddy Bear, and Goldilocks.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so they're in full-blown school day right now. It's 8 a.m. for them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know how much you got, but I think it got cut off at some point because.
Well, we did. We got most of it. It had just cut off.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll tweet out the link to my presentation, and then
Yeah, share it out, tag us, and I'll make sure that I'll retweet it out. I know that a lot of people are going to be referencing back to this stuff. So if you wanted to even link it, just sharing out the link right here.
Okay.
That way people can use it in the future.
Yes, this is Zeke. Hi, Zeke.
Hi, Zeke. Ellie, do you want to see Zeke? How old is Zeke?
He's 6. He's in kindergarten.
Oh,
Yeah, how old's your little
Ellie's
one?
7.
Oh.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
Zeke, are you missing teeth too?
Oh, he just ran away. No, because here he comes. Zeke, she wants to know if you're missing teeth. Come here. You're missing one because you won't pull the other one out. Yeah. Oh, look at you missing 2. Yeah. You won't pull it out.
I mean, all of them are just now coming out finally.
My daughter lost 2 in one day when she was 7. So.
Oh man.
Big Tooth Fairy night.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well, I appreciate you putting this together. This was awesome.
No, thank you so much.
During the day and.
It was really good. Everybody pulled it together, did some great sessions. It was really awesome.
Good.
Well, if you want, go ahead and just post something about the link and retweet. We'll retweet it out, share it out. If you want to put it on the events page, you could do that so other people have access to it. And feel free to hop in. Do you want to hop in with Australia right now and watch it?
I would love to, but I have to plan. I have 4 breakout sessions I have to do tomorrow.
You are one busy lady.
A bunch of locks sitting on my dining room table, so I gotta go.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for doing this.
All right, thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.